newly released surveillance video shows Kimberly Kessler slinging a trash bag into the dumpster behind Tangle's salon the day after Jolene Cummings, a mother of 3, was last seen alive.
Seeing Kimberly Kessler inside a Nassau County Walmart. Through surveillance video the store released to detectives. Kessler is seen purchasing multiple items in the self-checkout line, and then she leaves the store driving her black Kia Soul. Kessler was inside Walmart purchasing the following items: an electric knife, trash bags, and a large bottle of ammonia. We're also now seeing video of Kessler at a nearby car wash, paying special attention to the interior of the car.
When Jolene didn't show up to pick up her sons on her birthday and also on Mother's Day, May 13th, her mom, Anne, got extremely worried. Her son, Jason, had waited at this meeting spot for nearly an hour. He tried calling Jolene, but she never called back and she never showed up. So Anne ended up reporting her daughter as missing the very next day on May 14th. Immediately, detectives began working on this case. They began speaking to the hair salon. They were searching places. They were just trying to figure out what could have happened to Jolene. And they also started looking around at her relationships with other people to see if that might provide some sort of insight. And one person particularly stood out to them. A man by the name of Jason Gee, who happened to also be Jolene's ex-boyfriend. In fact, the police were called to Jolene's house on May 9th, just 3 days before she went missing, due to a dispute between the two of them. So as police begin looking for Jason on the morning of May 15th, police end up finding him hiding under cardboard boxes. They took action and arrested him for the probation violation, but also for 2 drug charges. They also labeled him as a person of interest in Jolene's disappearance. When they brought him in for questioning, he refused to speak and he told them that he wanted a lawyer. But Jason's father did speak with police and said that Jason was with him the entire time. When they brought him in for questioning, he refused to speak and he told them that he wanted a lawyer. But Jason's father did speak with police and said that Jason was with him the entire time. But things took an even weirder twist when just a few hours after Jason's arrest, Jolene's car was found, and it was found near a Home Depot. Someone had seen it, recognized it, and called it in. So of course, officials began doing their work to figure out how the car got there and if there was any evidence inside of it or on it. And when they pulled footage from Home Depot, they saw a lady getting out of the car at 1:17 a.m. on May 13th, Mother's Day, that same day that Jolene went missing. But this lady was not Jolene. So the lady driving Jolene's car was named Kimberly Kessler. And at that time, Kimberly was going by the name of Jennifer Stibert. Kimberly is a 53-year-old woman, and she is from Pennsylvania. And she was in her late 40s at the time that this all happened. And Kim had as many as 25 different aliases. Now remember when I said that she was going by the name of Jennifer Stibert earlier? Well, Jennifer Stibert was a name that she found at the cemetery. Somehow Kim was able to find her social security number as well, and that's actually the information that she used to apply at Tangle's hair salon, the same hair salon that Jolene worked at. The two of them were co-workers. So after Kim dropped off Jolene's car at the Home Depot, she went to a nearby gas station to get a cab. The gas station worker noticed that she was a bit irritable and acting very strangely. He let her use his phone to call a cab, and she had said that she was out drinking with friends and that the boyfriend of a friend showed up. She told him that she needed to get back to her car at Planet Fitness. So when the taxi arrived, it took her back to the salon, Tangle's. After the missing persons report on Jolene was filed, their boss texted Kim asking if she knew what Jolene was wearing that Saturday when she was last in the salon. Kim said that she didn't know because she was not fashion forward and didn't pay attention. So when Kim got word that the officers were speaking with the salon and asking questions, she then decided she was going to bounce. She was skipping town. So she told her boss of the salon that she was going out of town, and she did give them a home address in the beginning, but the address proved to be fake. Another huge red flag here, guys. So even though she tried to dip out and, get out of town, get the hell out of Dodge, as they say, after Jolene's car was found on the 15th, the hunt for Kim was on. They were not about to let her off the hook and let her get away. So the next day, on May 16th, Kim was arrested in St. Johns County. And for reference, St. Johns County is about an hour from Nassau County. Kim was hidden in her Kia Soul in between two semis at a rest area. And when arresting her, police realized that she had been living out of her car. She was eventually transferred to Nassau County and was booked and charged with grand theft auto during the early hours of May 20th. Now, Kim denied ever being in Jolene's car, but surveillance videos do not lie, girlfriend, and you were caught on film. Sorry. She was also known as Jennifer Seibert again during her initial arrest, and it wasn't found out until later that she had been using that fake name. So horseback searches were being carried out. Everybody was trying to find Jolene, but Jolene still was not found. Jason Gee, that ex-boyfriend of Jolene's, was pretty quickly released as a person of interest, and then the focus was solely on Kim, and she became a suspect in it. Reportedly, there had been quite a bit of tension between Kim and Jolene in the salon. Jolene worked extremely hard, and honestly, Kim didn't really do much. If Jolene asked for help, Kim would be whining about it and would refuse to help. Jolene also started to recognize that something was off with Kim. And the day that Jolene was last seen, a customer said that after asking Kim for help and being denied, Jolene told the customer, you know, one day she's going to need help and I'm not going to give it to her because she's not giving it to me. And 2 days prior to Jolene's disappearance, Jolene and Kim got into an argument after Kim was trying to eavesdrop on Jolene's conversation with a coworker. The two of them went outside to talk and Kim ended up following them to listen. Jolene told her, "Go away, don't talk to me, you are fake, you are crazy," and an argument ensued. Jolene told her coworker that she was going to start digging into Kim's background to see what was going on because she knew that something wasn't adding up. Jolene had also told her boss that she wasn't a fan of Kim. She had texted her boss on the 12th saying she's been real negative, trying to avoid her. So by then, police were convinced that they just needed all of the evidence, and then they could get a charge and a conviction against Kim. When they did a major search of the salon, they found tons of evidence. There was on the walls, on the chairs, on the cabinets, and even in the sink drain. Kim's scissors had Jolene's DNA all over them. After she went to Walmart, she turned off her credit card. She then went and bought zip ties with cash. Kim also had wounds on her face and on her hands. When police searched Kim's storage unit, they found her boots that had dried on them, and she was wearing those boots on the 12th when she was at work with Jolene before Jolene went missing. The blood on her boots matched Jolene's blood, and the blood that was all over that salon. The cash drawer at the salon was also ripped open, and there was $1,600 that was found in cash in Kim's car. Another employee also noticed that the plant in the salon had been replaced with a different plant. So when police checked surveillance videos of the outside area, they saw Kim throwing away very heavy trash bags, bottles of cleaning supplies, foil, and even more evidence that night. She also had thrown things like pillows and a blue tote in the woods next to this trash container, and in that tote was and part of Jolene's fingernail. When they searched Jolene's car, they found a blue tarp and a gray storage bin lid with brown splatter on it. By May 22nd, investigators let everybody know that they had found evidence that Jolene was no longer alive, but they didn't say what the evidence was. Prior to the 22nd, after the evidence was found, they had done a series of interviews with Kim, and these interviews are just very odd.
We also have recovered your shoes that has Jolene's shoes. So I just want you to, if something happened that you didn't intend to happen, I want to talk to you about it. I don't think you're an evil person. I don't think you're a mean person. I think you have done one hell of a job getting through the last 25 years.
So let me reply this way, and you may not like the answer. I would like legal counsel.
Also, going through Kim's search history was no different than anything else. Starting on April 30th, she had been Googling things like coworker guilty of killing coworker, Florida female murders, cadavers, victimpedia, murderpedia, and even more. And these searches were before Jolene ever went missing. A clear indication, in my opinion, that Kim had been planning this, or at least was curious about it. Then after Jolene went missing, the searches continued, but they became things such as Jolene Cummings, no body, no crime. And Kim had searched Jolene's name over 400 times. Police continued to hold Kim in jail for months. She was the prime suspect in all of this, and they wanted her close to them, but they still didn't have a body in this case. They looked for Jolene's body for months and found nothing. They searched through 6 million pounds of trash at the landfill because of those surveillance videos and those heavy trash bags getting tossed in. They did find some items of interest, but they did not find Jolene. Meanwhile, Kim was moved to Duval County Jail because she went on a hunger strike, and also because Jolene's stepdad worked at the Nassau County Jail, and it was a conflict of interest. Eventually, Kim ate again, and things were fine. But it's about to go sideways real quick. So eventually, the police decided to proceed with this case with no body. And on September 8th, 2018, Kim was charged with first-degree murder. She pled not guilty. Over the next few months, a few pretrial court dates took place, and on March 5th, 2019, Kim's public defender stated that she was incompetent. The judge did declare her as mentally incompetent just a short time later on July 3rd, 2019, and he sent her to a Florida State hospital for treatment. But then, a little less than a year later, in March of 2020, the judge declared that she was now mentally competent to stand trial. So immediately after that, guys, between April and June of 2020, Kim goes on a 56-day hunger strike. She goes from 196 pounds to 74 pounds. She looks frail and she looks ill. Eventually, the Duval County Jail refused to take care of Kim anymore. They were having to hospitalize her nearly daily, and she was purposefully acting out. She was a literal nightmare of an inmate. So she was then transferred back to Nassau County. Kim started saying that she refused the public defender's office. Every time they took her into a courtroom, she did this. She would act out, and every time the judge would send her right back out or just mute her if it was over Zoom.
Remain here much longer.
We may want to put her on mute while we finish this, Judge.
It's fine.
Let's just put me back on myself.
Sam, come back.
I want to get rid of the public defender's office. Yeah, exactly. Jordan Beard is Johnson's nephew. Jordan Beard is Jolie's cousin.
Jordan Beard is Johnson's nephew. Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin.
Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin. Jordan Beard is Jolene's cousin. And I refuse this assigned counsel.
After all the crap that this woman had already put Jolene's family through, she continued to do this. It was unbelievable and just honestly disgusting. In April 2021, Kim took things to an entirely new level. She had been spreading feces around her cell, and officers came in and told her to stand up so they could move her to another cell and then sanitize her, which she was lucky someone even cared about her well-being and cared enough to clean her up, because I for sure wouldn't. But she refused to get up. And then she said, okay, we can do this today. So she took feces that she had hidden in a styrofoam cup and started smearing it on herself and on the walls. This crazy ass. She was pepper sprayed twice and it was unsuccessful. She kept going. So what did she do next? She began throwing feces at the officers. The officers end up tasing her, and she was charged with 2 felony charges of battery against a law enforcement officer. But Kim continued to cause disruptions constantly.
So let everyone know, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Jordan Beard, public defender, is Jolene Cummings' cousin, along with his brother Josh. Yeah, he swept it under the rug for 3.5 years, along with her father, her stepdad, who runs the jail, who recently retired. He still comes in.
Now here's what's crazy. The jury deliberated for a little over an hour before coming back with a guilty verdict. That's it. They only deliberated for a little over an hour. And remember, given the fact that there is no body in this crime, that is a pretty quick turnaround for a jury. Sentencing was set for January 27th, 2022. And as usual, Kim caused issues prior to this. She continued exposing herself, and she tried to commit unaliving twice. Kim decided to be her usual self on the day of sentencing, so they took her right back out of the courtroom. Kim was sentenced to life without parole. She was also sentenced to 5 years for stealing the car. Now, the jail was absolutely thrilled when she was sentenced because that meant that she was leaving their facility. When Kim left the jail at the end of January this year, the jail literally celebrated with cake and ice cream. Guys, now I can't help but laugh with this because they are just so excited that she is out of their hair, that they literally threw a party. So last we know, Kim is at Acala prison, getting all of her evaluations before they will find yet another prison for her to live out her days of life without parole in a prison that is the best fit for her, which it doesn't feel like any prison is a good fit for her.